But the Popular Front of India is alive. And our sting operation proves it. An investigation that will quake India and send tremors through Karnataka. Operation PFI, an India Today special investigation.
Despite being outlawed in September last year, an India Today investigation has discovered that the Popular Front of India has found ways to circumvent the ban and continue operations. We take a closer look at how the PFI is still active in poll-bound Karnataka and the plans this organization has for the forthcoming assembly elections.
Banned. The central government outlawed the Popular Front of India in September last year for its terror links.
ये NIA के द्वारा जांच हो रही थी और जिस तरह से एविडेंस मिलेंगे ये मैंने कल भी कहा उसी के अनुरूप ये कार्रवाई की गई है और आने वाले समय में भी जैसी सूचनाएं मिलेंगी उसके आधार पर हम कार्रवाई करेंगे। हमारी सरकार हमारी एजेंसियां इतनी सक्षम है कि पूरे देश में कानून व्यवस्था विधि व्यवस्था सारी ठीक रहेगी, ये मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता।
कब मिलेंगे आप? प्लीज मिल लीजिए, मैं यही सामने हूँ जुमा मस्जिद के बाद।
6 months later, India Today's investigation finds out how its supporters and insiders have found ways to work around the official ban, staying active in poll-bound Karnataka, assembling at shrines and mosques to strategize their game plan for the upcoming assembly election in the BJP-ruled state.
मैं अकेला ही हूँ, मतलब जो चल थोड़ी बहुत जानकारी लेके हम लोग लिखते हैं।
मैं इधर का पहले पॉपुलर फ्रंट ऑफ इंडिया ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का डिस्ट्रिक्ट प्रेसिडेंट रखा था।
This is Chand Pasha. He headed the PFI's Chikmagalur district unit before the ban came into force. But Pasha isn't lying low. He's mobilizing cadres on the ground, issuing video diktats on WhatsApp to impose the PFI's will on Muslim voters in Chikmagalur district.
में कब थे?
मैं अभी 3 साल से डिस्ट्रिक्ट प्रेसिडेंट। हम लोग पीएफआई लोग हैं, हम लोग हमारे मेंबर्स हैं, कैडर्स हैं, हमारे वेल विशर्स हैं, उन लोग हमारे साथ डिस्कशन करते हैं किसको सपोर्ट करना है, हमारे लोगों के सजेशन पूछते हैं, तो हम कौन विनिंग कैंडिडेट है, हम लोग बीजेपी बाहर आने के लिए देखते हैं जरूर, तो बीजेपी के डेड अगेंस्ट है।
नहीं तो फिर आप कार्डर को कैसे मैसेज देंगे किसको वोट करना नहीं करना?
हमारा अभी एक वीडियो हम डाल दिया तो पूरा व्हाट्सएप में हजारों लोग इधर देखेंगे, हम जाके मैसेज देके मेंबर मिलने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि हर ग्रुप्स में इधर मस्जिद है, कम से कम एक 30-50 मस्जिद है, 30-50 मस्जिद में करीबन 10-15 मस्जिद के प्रेसिडेंट ने 10-15 ग्रुप बनाए, हर ग्रुप में हम ऐड करेंगे। वैसे ही दूसरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वाले हम लोग को पूरे अभी जानते हैं ना, व्हाट्सएप में कुछ हमें बोलना है तो कुछ अपडेशन करना तो व्हाट्सएप में डाल देंगे।
You heard this PFI operative admitting how he uses technology to send his edicts out. The PFI network continues to work in close coordination here, courtesy presidents of local shrines and messaging groups.
हम लोग जाके मस्जिद वालों से रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं, इधर 1 घंटा मीटिंग करेंगे, कहीं दरगाह में जाके मीटिंग करेंगे।
अच्छा, तो ये लोग अलाउ करते हैं मीटिंग मस्जिद में और दरगाह में?
करता है ना, वो क्या है, हम लोग 5-10 कुछ बात करना है तो कुछ इश्यूज है, कुछ प्रोटेस्ट करना है, कुछ मिलना तो मस्जिद में बढ़ेंगे। 60 जनों को हम लोग।
Pasha now confesses that 70 to 80% of the PFI's membership in Chikmagalur district is still intact.
20-80 मेंबर्स तो मैच्योर है, वो मेंबर्स के फैमिली पेरेंट्स भी मैच्योर है, वो हम लोग का जब काम जानते हैं, ये वर्क किया वो हमारा।
तो मतलब आप ये कह रहे हैं 70-80% जो मेंबर्स हैं वो बिल्कुल इंटैक्ट है?
हाँ, उन लोगों को क्लियर है, हम कुछ गलत नहीं किया।
An overwhelming majority of the PFI cadre remains active. Pasha also revealed that they have switched into the Social Democratic Party, widely thought to be the banned group's political wing.
अभी एसडीपी में दलित हिंदू लोग बहुत सारे हैं, पीएफआई सिर्फ मुस्लिम्स का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, लेकिन दलित को कुछ हुआ कुछ माइनॉरिटीज़ को कुछ हुआ या कहाँ भी नाइंसाफी हुआ तो वो कम्युनिटी नहीं देखती, मुस्लिम हिंदू नहीं देखती।
इलेक्शंस है ना, इलेक्शंस की वजह से।
We investigated further. In Karnataka's coastal district of Dakshin Kannada, the SDPI is in charge of Mudbidri Assembly constituency. Asif corroborated Chand Pasha's claims that the PFI cadre have merged seamlessly into the party.
अभी ऑफ रिकॉर्ड आप बोल रहे हैं तो PFI का कैडर SDP का ही है। हम लोगों को कुछ भी मसला होगा हम लोग उनको कॉल करते हैं। अच्छा, स्टेशन में इशू होगा, कोई अरेस्ट होगा, हम लोग को कॉल आता है। अरे जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी के अंदर PFI के कोई ज़्यादा कार्यकर्ता अरेस्ट नहीं हुए। अच्छा, क्यों? क्योंकि इधर का क्यों नहीं पता है ना, फ्रंट में नहीं दिख रहे हैं। अच्छा, समझ में इंटरनली काम कर, ये डिपार्टमेंट को क्लियर मालूम। तो ये जब आप कह रहे हैं कि डिपार्टमेंट को पता होते हुए क्यों नहीं गिरफ्तार क्यों नहीं कर रहे? उनको नहीं हो रहा है क्योंकि उनके पास एविडेंस नहीं है। अभी मैं रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा हूँ। फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं अभी PFI का मेंबर हूँ, उनके पास वो रिकॉर्ड डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं है। ओहो, अभी ये कैसे बोलता है कोई मेंबर, मैं एक एग्जाम्पल, इधर या तो ID वो कुछ नहीं है, इसका सिस्टम ही नहीं है। जो नोटेड लोग हैं वो लोग रिप्रेजेंट करें लीडरशिप में, वही अरेस्ट हो जाता है। अच्छा, बाकी कार्डर एज इट इज है जो आप लोगों को अभी मदद करेगा।
You heard this SDPI leader confessing that PFI activists have smoothly assimilated into his party. Asif also disclosed that the SDPI, with PFI activists on board, receives financial support from the Gulf.
लोग भेज देते हैं क्योंकि पैसा कमा रहे हैं।
इधर जो है उधर भेजेंगे तो घर को जाते हैं, इधर से नहीं भेजते हैं।
With a strong presence in Karnataka and Kerala, the PFI is said to have multiple wings: women, student and political. Security experts caution that the banned group must be prevented from gaining a political foothold by the back door.
If PFI is banned, you can't allow it to operate under political name of SDPI. My request to the judicial system and the Election Commission of India is certain steps must be taken that if you do not stand for India's security, India's integrity, India's nationality, then you should not be allowed to enter in political arena.
The Popular Front of India remains active, even influencing the upcoming elections in Karnataka. Our investigation has just begun to unravel the tactics used by the banned outfit to remain operational. Stay tuned for more. With Mohammad Hizbullah, this is India Today's Special Investigation Team.
In the second part of this India Today investigation, I'm now about to show you more evidence of how the PFI has seamlessly assimilated into its political wing, the Social Democratic Party of India, and how what was earlier being done by the PFI is now being done pretty much the same kind of work under the guise of the SDPI, and the SDPI will be playing a role in the elections of the 10th of May.
The Social Democratic Party of India, or SDPI, registered as a political party since 2010. Along with the PFI, a total of 9 outfits were banned on September the 28th, 2022, but the SDPI was spared. According to the Election Commission, there was no evidence to support claims that the SDPI and the PFI were linked together. Link established between the PFI and the SDPI which necessitates action. But India Today has caught SDPI leaders on camera admitting that the party has absorbed PFI activists following last year's ban. This is Munib Bengre, an SDPI corporator in the Mangaluru City Corporation. When probed, he accepted that PFI activists are now working under the SDPI umbrella.
मतलब जो PFI के लोग हैं वो अब SDPI में आ गए हैं ना?
आ गए वो बैन होने के बाद PFI का नाम नहीं है ना, वो SDPI में आ गए। हमारा सपोर्टर में, हमारा मेंबर में सब काम कर रहे हैं।
तो सिर्फ नोटे जो बड़े नाम थे वो लोग सिर्फ अंदर गए हैं, बाकी जो नीचे के लोग हैं सब आ गए।
काम कर रहे हैं, इसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
PFI काम कर रहा है,
PFI बोल के नहीं है, काम कर रहे हैं हमारे SDPI के लिए।
SDPI के लिए
स्पेशली इधर RSS कितना स्ट्रांग है उतना स्ट्रांग SDPI PFI भी, और PFI SDPI होने से हमारा इधर का जो यंगस्टर है ना वो भी स्ट्रांग हो रहा है।
An hour's drive north to Udupi. Nazir, another SDPI office bearer, also acknowledged that the PFI base is as intact as before.
वो अभी भी एज इट इज इंटैक्ट है।
वो हले नहीं, कैडर हले नहीं, कैडर हलने की जैसे नहीं है। जो नवे के लोग आए बाद में मिले वो तकवा नहीं है, वो आदमी जो हमने स्टार्टिंग बेस जो तकवा मिला है वो तकवा हमने फर्स्ट तकवा ही दिया।
उनको आप लोग किस में रखते हैं? PFI में रखते हैं SDPI में? अच्छा, तो PFI में किन लोगों को रखते हैं?
बराबर तकवा है।
अच्छा, बिल्कुल जो
दो और जैसा लीडर का हुक्म मानता है, ऑर्डर मानता है, तो PFI में रखता है।
अच्छा, मतलब दैट इज बेसिकली वो कोर ग्रुप।
हाँ,
आपका कोर ग्रुप वो तो ठीक है, लेकिन इसका जो काउंटर का जो आरोप लगता है वो तो आप जैसे मतलब PFI SDPI को लगता है कि जो RSS जो करते हैं उसका काउंटर।
पता नहीं इनके लीडर को लोग वही लोग मारते हैं, बड़े बड़े लीडर फोन मार के पत्थर रोक, लेकिन फिर भी डर PFI गए बहुत डर है।
तो ये नज़ीर भाई का डर अच्छा है?
डर है, लेकिन एक मर्डर तो गैर का 4 बच्चे लोग जाते हैं, गैर का एक मर्डर हो तो 25-30 के जाते हैं। ये प्रॉब्लम बहुत टाइम है।
तो आप कह रहे हैं कि बैन से फायदा हुआ?
हाँ, फायदा हुआ है हमको।
A wake-up call for the state and central governments. The outlawed Popular Front of India seems to be using the SDPI as a proxy to continue its activities in pole-bound Karnataka. With Mohammad Hizbullah, this is India Today's Special Investigation Team.
It's quite clear from our investigation that the PFI is now operating under the umbrella of its political wing, the SDPI. With Karnataka elections less than a month away, the SDPI plans to field close to 100 candidates. It's already given a ticket to BJP worker Praveen Netaru's murder accused. The question is, what impact could the SDPI have in the coming elections?
On campaign, active in electoral politics since 2010. The Social Democratic Party of India plans to contest 54 of Karnataka's 224 assembly constituencies this time, 19 already finalized.
अभी कर्नाटक के जो 2023 के जो असेंबली चुनाव चलने वाले हैं, इसमें ऑलरेडी सोशल डेमोक्रेटिक पार्टी ऑफ इंडिया के जानिब से हम तकरीबन 100 कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी में तकरीबन 1 साल पहले से हमारा काम शुरू हुआ है और वहाँ पर बड़े ज़ोरों शोर से चुनाव कैंपेन का काम चल रहा है और लोगों से बहुत अच्छा रिस्पांस मिल रहा है।
In the 2018 state elections, the SDPI contested 3 seats: Narsimha Raja, Chikpeta and Gulbarga, but won none. That said, the SDPI does have presence in Karnataka's municipal bodies and village councils. 4 corporators in major cities, 40 councillors in smaller cities and towns, and more than 300 members in Gram Panchayats. The SDPI hopes to register its presence in the new assembly from the coastal Karnataka region. It stands open to alliance.
ये बीजेपी हुकूमत के जो एंटी पीपल पॉलिसीज़ के ज़रिए से ये पूरे कर्नाटक के लोग बज़्ज़न आ चुके हैं। यहाँ पर जो अपोजिशन पार्टीज थे इन्हों भी अपनी जिम्मेदारी निभाने में नाकाम हो चुके हैं, तो लोग एक अल्टरनेट चाह रहे हैं। तो सोशल डेमोक्रेटिक पार्टी ऑफ इंडिया को हम अल्टरनेट के ज़रिए से लोगों के सामने प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं।
Believed to be the political wing of the PFI, the SDPI has sought to distance itself from the organization since the ban came into force. A vocal critic of the BJP, the SDPI has drawn sharp reactions over claims it had a tacit understanding with Congress in the last assembly elections.
ಕಳೆದ ವಿಧಾನಸಭಾ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ 25 ಕಡೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೆಲವರು ಘೋಷಣೆ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಬಂಟ್ವಾಳ ಸಮೇತ. ಆದರೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಬಿರುಸಿನಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಚಾರ, ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷ ಸಂಘಟನೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲವು ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ನೇತಾರರು ಮತ್ತು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ಸಿನ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹಿರಿಯ ತಲೆಗಳು, ಅದರ ಹೆಸರು ನಾನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಸಲ ನೀವೊಂದು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಬರಬಾರ್ದಾದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ನೀವು ಸೇರಿ ಒಂದು ಮೈತ್ರಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಓಪನ್ ಮೈತ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂग ಮಾಡೋಣ.
एसडीपीआई एंड कांग्रेस एक ही है, अलग अलग पार्टी नहीं है, एक दूसरे के साथ चलने वाले हैं. एसडीपीआई कौन है? पॉपुलर फ्रंट ऑफ इंडिया एक आतंकवादी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन थे, इसीलिए केंद्र सरकार इसको बैन किया. पॉपुलर फ्रंट ऑफ इंडिया बैन होने के बाद उसका कौन कौन पदाधिकारी थे, कौन कौन लोग थे, नेता थे, वो सब लोग एसडीपीआई ज्वाइन किया है. पॉपुलर फ्रंट ऑफ इंडिया का पॉलिटिकल फेस है वो एसडीपीआई है.
We don't have any alliance with any political party, either JDS or SDPI or any other political party. We don't have any alliance. It is all rumors which is going on.
Among the candidates the SDPI fielded so far in the May Assembly elections is Shafi Bellari from Puttur. Bellari was allegedly involved in the murder of BJP youth leader Praveena Taru, the July 2022 killing allegedly plotted by the PFI.
दक्षिण कन्नड़ जिले के 7 आउट ऑफ 7 कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसीज 5 कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसीज में हमारे कैंडिडेट का ऐलान किए हैं हम. उल्लाल कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी और मूडबिद्रे कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी, बंटवाल कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी, बेलतंगड़ी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी, इसी तरीके से पुत्तूर कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी में हमारे स्टेट सेक्रेटरी शाफी बेल्लारे को हम कैंडिडेचर बना के हम ऐलान किए हैं. हालांकि शाफी बेल्लारे आज जेल में हैं, तो इनको एक कॉन्स्पिरेसी के तहत प्रवीण नेटारू के मर्डर केस में इनको फिक्स किया गया है, तो इनको हम जेल से ही कंटेस्ट कराने का डिसीजन पार्टी ली है.
The SDPI is reaching out to voters door to door in the run-up to the elections.
The SDPI, which is considered to be the political wing of the Popular Front of India but later distanced itself from it after the outfit got banned, is now planning to contest from 54 assembly constituencies, 19 of which has already been finalized, which includes the coastal Karnataka, Kittur Karnataka and Bombay Karnataka as well. The SDPI also says that it doesn't believe in a grand campaign of sorts and hence is now going ahead with door-to-door campaigning. Even in last elections in 2018, the SDPI contested from just 3 assembly constituencies and had even come on record to say that it had a tacit understanding with Congress where the opposition would form a united front to form an anti-BJP force. But it remains to be seen, with Karnataka being a strong triangular fight between BJP, Congress and JDS, will SDPI be able to make the cut? With video journalist Alphonse, Anagha Keshav for India Today, Bengaluru.
As far as formality goes, the Popular Front of India has been banned. But as that big India Today investigation shows, the Social Democratic Party of India, the SDPI, is carrying on the activities of the PFI. This isn't a random charge that's being made. These are on-camera confessions of PFI operatives, PFI activists, their district heads. Joining us to discuss the impact the SDPI could have on the forthcoming assembly elections. Remember, about 100 candidates are being put up across the state of Karnataka. I'm joined on this broadcast by Abdul Majid. Abdul Majid is the state Karnataka president of the SDPI. We've got Malvika Avinash for a perspective from the BJP. B. Gopal Husur has been former Additional Director General of Police in Karnataka. and we've got Syed Abbas, who is a political analyst. Let me go across to Abdul Majid first, because I don't know what you're going to say on camera, because you know that you're being recorded. But in that India Today investigation, PFI activists like Chand Pasha, who headed the PFI's Chikmagaluru district unit, and many others have come out on camera to say that this is essentially the PFI which is now working as the SDPI. Asif, who worked in Mudbidri in Karnataka, in Dakshin Kannada, he's essentially corroborating what many people thought may have been true, but now you've got visual evidence of this, that the SDPI is essentially carrying forward the activities of the band PFI.
देखिए ये क्या इल्जाम है? देखिए, सोशल डेमोक्रेटिक पार्टी ऑफ इंडिया इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया से रजिस्टर हुआ एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है। हम पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का एक्टिविटी करते हैं, हम दूसरा कुछ हम अभी नहीं है। हम 2009 से कर्नाटका में काम कर रहे हैं, पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविटीज कर रहे हैं, हमारा प्रोटेस्ट वगैरह कर रहे हैं। 2009 से हम इलेक्टोरल पॉलिटिक्स में है और एजुटेटिव पॉलिटिक्स में है, और हर इश्यू में हमारा एक स्टैंड होता है। 2009 से पार्टी चालू है, हमारा एक्टिविटीज है। अभी नया एक्टिविटी नहीं है, क्योंकि हमारा जो है पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविटी है। पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविटी से इलेक्टोरल पॉलिटिक्स में हम हिस्सा लेते हैं, एजुटेटिव पॉलिटिक्स में हिस्सा लेते हैं। देखिए, 2009 से हमारा कैडर और हमारा मेंबर का जरिए हम काम कर रहे हैं। अभी हम लोग को कोई आया, अगर जब हम एनरोलमेंट चलाते हैं, मेंबरशिप चलाते हैं, तो कोई भी आएगा तो हम लोग लेते हैं। ऑल कम्युनिटीज का लोग आते हैं, पर्टिकुलरली इलेक्शन का टाइम से पहले हम लोग मेंबरशिप कैंपेन चलाते हैं और हमारे कैंपेन के लिए लोग आते हैं। तो हम लोग नेचुरली हमारा एक्सपेंशन यानी कि हमारा मेंबरशिप हम चलाते हैं। उसमें कौन आया कौन नहीं आया ये तो हम नहीं देख सकते कि हम इंडियन सिटीजन को देखते हैं कि ये इंडियन सिटीजन है या नहीं है, बस इतना ही देखते हैं। और उसके साथ साथ हम लोग देखते हैं उसका कुछ क्रिमिनल बैकग्राउंड वगैरह है क्या, ये चेक करके हम लोग अगर नहीं है बोले तो हम लोग हमारा मेंबरशिप लेते हैं। हम प्योरली हमारे पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविटीज करते हैं।
Do you buy that, Mr. Gopal Husur? His essential point is that the SDPI isn't indulging in illegal activities. What he's doing is kosher, it's in the political realm. And if some person has been a member of the PFI but didn't have any criminal charges against him, you can't really blame the SDPI because they've done a check and he's come.
वो नहीं बताया, देखिए एक आदमी तो वो आदमी आएगा तो हम लोग को मालूम नहीं है वो पॉपुलर फ्रंट ऑफ इंडिया का है, वो दूसरा है, कुछ भी मालूम हम लोग को मालूम नहीं है ना। अगर हमारे पार्टी के आइडियोलॉजी को मानते, हमारा पार्टी का कंडीशन को मान के कोई आएगा तो हम उसको लेंगे।
Okay. I've understood what you're saying. Let me get the former Additional Director General of Police to respond to it. Mr. Husur, do you buy that argument that how can the likes of Abdul Majid check each person and his antecedents? Unko kya pata ye PFI mein tha ki nahi? They've checked him, he seems fine. A membership drive is on, they've taken more members. Mr. Husur.
Thank you, Kunal, for getting me into this. I have been a witness to the formation of the PFI and SDPI's, the political wing of the PFI. I think it was in Bangalore that the three South Indian radical organizations, the KFD, the MNP and the NDF, came together and formed the PFI in the year 2006. They wanted to have a political footprint so that they can spread across various states. Today they have presence in more than 18 to 20 states. The SDPI, which is the political outfit, the PFI and the SDPI are not heterogeneous units. They are homogeneous units. People who were in the PFI are also in the SDPI. So the PFI has been banned now. It has been proscribed, and the UAP, under the UAP Act, it has been upheld. So what Majid Saab is trying to say is that we don't know, people come and apply and we try to check their criminal background and all that. I don't think so he has any wherewithal to do that. Unless only a government agency, just as you do it for your passport verification or other verifications, to understand the criminal background of the members who are going to join. So I don't buy this idea.
Abdul Majid, रिस्पॉन्ड टू द फॉर्मर एडीजीपी। वो कह रहे हैं कि बॉस एसडीपीआई और पीएफआई तो एक ही चीज है, आप ये किसको बता रहे हैं? आपको मालूम है ये कौन लोग हैं? पीएफआई कोई एसडीपीआई से जुदा थोड़ी है। यू आर द पॉलिटिकल एक्सटेंशन ऑफ द सो कॉल्ड पॉलिटिकल एक्सटेंशन ऑफ द पीएफआई। और आपको पूरा मालूम है ये जो चांद पाशा टाइप के लोग हैं, आसिफ टाइप के लोग हैं, ये कौन है ये आपको मालूम है। आप कह ही नहीं सकते कि आपको नहीं मालूम कि पीएफआई के पहले मेंबर हैं।
देखिए, मैंने ये क्लियरली बता रहा हूं, क्योंकि पीएफआई बैन होने से पहले यानी 2009 से ही हमारा पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है, पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविटीज कर रहे हैं, इलेक्शन में हम हिस्सा ले रहे हैं। तो ये हमारा जो मेंबरशिप है लगातार वो चलता रहेगा। ये एक प्रोसेस है। तो इसमें मैंने बताया, उन्होंने बताया क्रिमिनल बैकग्राउंड हम लोग पासपोर्ट स्टेशन में जाके नहीं, जो वो आदमी मेंबरशिप को लेके आता है, कम से कम वो जो मोहल्ले में, वो एरिया में हम चेक करते हैं कैसा आदमी है, ये क्या है इसका बैकग्राउंड। ये तो हम हमारा लोकल मेंबर्स रहते हैं, कैडर्स रहते हैं, उससे चेक करते हैं। अगर हमारे रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन, हमारा आइडियोलॉजी, हमारे पार्टी का जो भी आइडियोलॉजी है, उस आइडियोलॉजी के साथ अगर वो मैच होता है, वो रेडी है काम करने के लिए, हम लोग मेंबरशिप उसको देके मेंबरशिप लेते हैं।
Okay, Gopal Husur wants to respond to that. Gopal Husur,
वो थोड़ी शादी में बैज लगा के आते हैं।
let Gopal Husur respond. Mr. Husur,
we need to draw a line between activity and ideology. Activity and ideology. It is good to have a good ideology of a very democratic process, social justice, respect for the minority. Those are lofty ideals, I agree. But the activities of the PFI, who are now the part of the SDPI, is a cause for concern, because they have worked against the constitution, the unity and integrity of the country, by aligning themselves with terror organizations outside India and drawn a lot of support from there. And they are responsible for a number of criminal acts in this state. And the recent raids by the NIA has exposed the level to which the PFI has gone in propagating itself by drawing funds from outside the country and through the Hawala channels. So this is a cause for very serious concern. And if such thing enters into our political establishments, then it is going to become extremely difficult for the country's security of the country and to maintain the unity.
Malvika Avinash, how do you respond to this India Today investigation and the SDPI Karnataka president who's essentially saying that they can't possibly check whether this person has been in the PFI or not? They check for criminal antecedents. If he looks clear, they get him. In any case, elections are on and all political parties, including yours, are looking for new members.
First and foremost, let me congratulate India Today for this relentless investigation that you carry out. I know you've been following the PFI story for a long time now, and from long before they were actually banned by the union government. And each time you do manage to throw up stories that are rather startling. But in this case, the fact that the SDPI and the PFI are aligned is no news, so to speak. But perhaps the government is yet to establish the actual link, and perhaps even the election commission, which is why the SDPI continues to function. I just have two questions of Majid Sahab. He keeps saying that he has a certain ideology. Is it the same as PFI's vision of India 2047 establishing rule of Islam in India? Do they share the same ideology of the PFI, or is it different from that? And he speaks of, checking antecedents of new members and so on and so forth. Like Gopal Husur sir said, it's quite impossible for them to do so, and perhaps there isn't the intent to do so. Or why else would so many of them admit, while not knowing, caught unawares on camera, that the PFI is entering into the SDPI? I also would like to ask him if they still subscribe to the activities of the banned Campus Front of India also, because the PFI not only indulged in terror activities in Karnataka and Kerala, they not only brutally murdered our workers, be it of the RSS and the BJP, they also indulged in creating social unrest. There were these anti-CAA riots in which they very actively took part and led to a lot of rioting and damage to public property and life. And also this Campus Front of India, which prompted young girls who were college-going girls in Dakshin Kannada to, protest for the hijab. So do they subscribe to all of that as well?
Because when you've already seen, Abdul Majid, the law at this moment says if you're a member of a proscribed outfit, then you can be charged as well. It's not as if you need to be a terrorist or have indulged in some illegal activity. Just membership of a proscribed outfit, as the law stands at this moment, is cause for action to be taken legally against you. That's the law, that's how it stands. So if you know that somebody is in the PFI, if you know that person, if the PFI is banned, then you can't take those people. It's very clear, sir. That's the law of the country at this moment.
देखिए, एक तो मैं पहली बार जो मालविका जो क्वेश्चन पूछे उसको आंसर करना चाहता हूं। देखिए, हमारा पार्टी का नाम है सोशल डेमोक्रेटिक पार्टी ऑफ इंडिया। सोशल डेमोक्रेसी हमारा आइडियोलॉजी है। सोशल डेमोक्रेसी का आइडियोलॉजी तो इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज टू ऑल, जो डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब अंबेडकर साहब ने जो कहा था, सबको एक समान।
Do you believe in the Constitution of India or do you want Sharia, sir?
ये है हमारा आइडियोलॉजी, इक्वल
अपॉर्चुनिटी। Do you believe in the Constitution of India or do you want to establish Sharia?
मालविका जी, आप जब बात करें तो मैं साइलेंट था। थोड़ा सुनिए।
Allow him to speak, मालविका।
देखिए हम सोशल डेमोक्रेसी हमारा आइडियोलॉजी है। जो भी सप्रेसेड क्लासेस है, माइनॉरिटीज है, दलित है, आदिवासी है, ये जो लोग अभी तक सोशल बैकवर्ड है, पॉलिटिकल बैकवर्ड है, इनको सही तरीके से पॉलिटिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन नहीं है, इनको मार्जिनलाइज किया गया है इस 75 ईयर्स से। ऑल द पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज 75 ईयर्स रूलिंग करने के बावजूद भी इतना मार्जिनाइज्ड है। अभी हम हंगर इंडेक्स में हम लोग को मालूम हुआ 107th प्लेस आउट ऑफ 121, 107th प्लेस में इंडिया है।
You know, I want to go across and get a word in from Syed Asad Abbas. The problem with Karnataka is that there are political parties who want the SDPI to contest, because the better the SDPI does, the more minority votes they take away, and ironically, the easier it gets for those parties. And therefore, even though many people know, even before this investigation, what exactly is going on, no one has so far acted against it.
Absolutely, Rahul. The fact of the matter, I'm very happy with the show today because you've got the BJP spokesperson. The ruling dispensation of Karnataka BJP spokesperson admits on your show to say that it's no great news, Rahul. We all know that PFI is SDPI, SDPI is PFI. Lighter note, tomato, tomato, potato, potato. So, respected man, why the smoke screen, madam? Why the window dressing of sorts? Why haven't you banned the SDPI? I will tell you today why, Rahul. I will tell you why, and I will expose the BJP agenda today. Why they have not banned the SDPI? Because when you see the 2018, when you see the 2018 elections, you will see 50 seats in Karnataka. In 2018, the margin was less than 5,000 votes. That is where the SDPI comes in to eat into the vote bank of the Congress party. So therefore, it is the same reason why the Rahul, can you hear me?
Yes,
can
of
I continue?
course. Go on.
The same reason why. Yes, ma'am, I did not speak to you. I did not speak when you spoke. Kindly allow me the courtesy. Thank you very much. So, Rahul, the reason why the BJP keeps the SDPI alive, irrespective of all their paper pay ban, it's only a paper ban. They keep the SDPI alive because it electorally, politically benefits them in a very large way. Not just that. 20% of the votes in Narasimha Raja, Mysore constituents goes to the SDPI, which eats into the vote bank of the Congress.
Okay, let Malvika Avinash respond to this, that the SDPI, you allow it to function despite knowing that they are essentially an extension of the PFI because it benefits you. The more votes they get, the lesser the votes the Congress gets. It splits the anti-BJP vote, and because you're benefiting, you are okay with it. You don't have a problem, otherwise you would have banned them.
Rahul, I'm sure you understand that it's not for the BJP to ban an organization. There are systems in place in this country. There are agencies.
2014 election manifesto, 2019. You said,
sir, will he keep quiet?
PFI.
Will he keep quiet?
So when you say the ban, if it's not in your hand, why do you say that you will ban them?
Syed Asad Abbas, allow Malvika Avinash to respond. Malvika.
Thank you. He puts up this amazing conspiracy theory of his and expects the nation to buy it. I am sorry, Mr. Abbas, that's not so. Let me commence by saying it's not for the BJP to ban a certain organization. There are agencies in this country which do so. All right? The Election Commission of India has admitted that they have not found reason to ban the
Okay, we played out that comment of Rajiv Kumar, the then CEC, who says, Syed Asad Abbas, that the SDPI hasn't engaged in any illegal activity that has been caught by the enforcement agencies, and therefore you can't just ban somebody because you don't like it. There has to be some evidence, and Malvika says it's not for the BJP, it's for the agencies to do it. The same agencies that banned the PFI, I'm sure they're looking at it. If they find the evidence, they will act.
Rahul, if that is the case, then why in the 2014 election manifesto of the BJP, when it was the Abki Baar Modi Sarkar, they had a clear mention that they will come in and ban the radical organization of PFI and all its sister concern. Not just that, 2019, many of the Karnataka BJP spokespersons have said, we will ban SDPI, terrorist group anta. Idu terrorist group SDPI ban martini. Yake ban marilla? Why haven't you banned it yet? When you can say it's not in your power, then why do your leaders go out and say, we will ban them? Don't say that, ma'am, if it is not in your hands. You call them terror group, terrorists. Why allow the terrorists to contest the elections?
Okay, Malvika, Avinash, respond. Ultimately, it's for your government to find the evidence. You're in government both in Karnataka and in the centre. It's your government that has to do it. If it hasn't got the evidence, it's also your fault, especially if you know that they are the PFI.
You know, we are conveniently missing out the Congress's role in all this. Mr. Abbas says the government said, or the BJP's manifesto said that we will ban the PFI, and so we have. So, Mr. Abbas, your question is answered. As for the SDPI, as in when enough evidence is found by the Election Commission of India, which is not a BJP wing. The Election Commission of India is an independent agency that functions in this nation, and I'm glad it does, hence the democracy in this country. And when they find reason to ban the SDPI, they will. How have we conveniently forgotten the Congress in all of these discussions? It is the Congress which clandestinely aligns with the SDPI. In fact, the SDPI's Ilyas Mohammad Tumbe just a week ago came about and said how they had conceded to the Congress in the previous elections and had not contested. So this whole Abbas's theory of this difference in votes...
Syed Aslam from the Janata Dal Secular, how do you see this India Today investigation, which suggests that many PFI members are now officially part of the SDPI, given that the PFI is banned, its members have to face prosecution, and now they're very conveniently becoming political activists? You're on mute right now.
I'm sure Malvika.
Go on. I hear you well now.
Rahul, I just want to say one thing, right? Malvika ji is crying foul about bringing in the PFI and the SDPI angle and all so on and so forth. I just want to ask Malvika ji, ma'am, your state BJP is in rule in the state government and in the central government as well. What is stopping you? If you have banned PFI, if you have proper evidence, let the law take its own course. Let the law take its own course, and
so
if you have proper evidence,
if
you have, ma'am, will you allow us to speak, ma'am? Thank you. Ma'am, you have not been allowing anyone to speak. Can you please allow us to speak? Thank you so much. Will you allow us to speak?
No,
you had your time.
Allow Syed Aslam to complete. Go on, Mr. Aslam.
Thank you. So the question is, whenever there are elections in any of the states, why would you bring in the PFI and the SDPI angle? BJP is the epitome of communal polarization. Any angle or any election comes in, you bring in the PFI and SDPI. If you have evidence, allow the investigation agencies to act accordingly, and the law will take its own course. What is the need for you to bring in PFI and SDPI every time? You don't have an agenda to fight elections. Like I said in my previous debates, you're reeling under the corruption allegations. You don't have unity.
Because you're reeling under charges of corruption, you're trying to find ways of polarizing this election. Malvika Avinash, respond to that charge.
Absolutely.
Rahul.
Yes, ma'am.
Who has done this investigation on the PFI? Have I or have you?
We've done the story. That's right. Go on.
Will you please answer? Who set the agenda for this debate? Did I or did you?
Madam, it's not about
right?
setting the agenda. Everyone will get to know when the elections are around the corner.
Will you let me speak now?
SDPI in the foreplay.
Will you let me speak now?
Okay, I'm also running out of time.
Please
I want to give everyone an opportunity to have final comments. I'll start with Malvika Avinash. Go ahead and make your point.
You have to let me speak. As an investigation saying that the SDPI is including all of the left out PFI members into their fold. All right. The Election Commission has said that they have not found reason to ban the SDPI from contesting these elections. The Election Commission of India is an independent agency, does not belong to the BJP. The day they find the evidence to ban them, they shall. The Union government found enough evidence to ban PFI, so we have.
Okay. Gopal Husur, on the back of this India Today investigation, sir, what do you think should be the logical next step?
Yeah, I think this discussion has turned a bit political, but I would like to give a perspective from the point of view of banning of organizations.
Yes.
Now, banning of organizations cannot be done by the whims and fancies.
Correct.
Of any body, whether it is a constitutional body or otherwise. There has to be incontrovertible evidence. For instance, ban on SIMI, ban on many organizations, or ban on the PFI. It took several years to collect the proper evidence, as Malvika madam was saying. You need to collect proper incontrovertible evidence, present it before the government bans it, and thereafterwards it has to stand the test of a tribunal, which goes through a very stringent democratic legal process. So just by whims and fancies, nobody can ban anything unless it is a direct indulgence in violence on the road. In this case, I think the authorities will definitely investigate the link between the PFI and the SDPI and the way in which the PFI has infiltrated or the SDPI has permitted PFI to infiltrate into itself. And in due course, we must, I'm sure, in due course, we should be able to find out how the government of India and the Election Commission of India are going to treat this problem. It is a live problem.
You realize, Abdul Majid, that on the back of this big India Today investigation, the SDPI will be much more in the crosshairs throughout this campaign. Each person in the SDPI, their antecedents, their association in the past with the Popular Front of India will be much more under the scanner than it's been so far.
कि मैंने बताया SDPI एक रेस्पॉन्सिबल पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है, तो हर हमेशा हम इधर का लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का इधर रूल ऑफ लॉ का फॉलो करता है. हम किसी से टीच नहीं कर सकते. जो मालेगांव बम ब्लास्ट का अक्यूज्ड को सीट देकर एमपी बनाने वाला पार्टी नहीं है हमारा. हम बहुत केयरफुल रहते हैं. हमारा जो भी मेंबरशिप आता है, ये लोग मालेगांव बम ब्लास्ट का अक्यूज्ड को मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट बना के हम लोग को टीच करते हैं. ये सब नाटक छोड़ दीजिए. इलेक्शन का टाइम में पोलराइजेशन करने के लिए ऐसा इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऐसा आ जाएगा, तो हम एक रिस्पॉन्सिबल होकर हम लोग को रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कोई टीच करने का जरूरत नहीं. हम इंडिया का कानून को मानते हैं.
They're daring you, Malvika Avinash, essentially the SDPI daring the government. If you have the evidence, act against us, otherwise don't make these charges.
The day is not far when they shall be acted upon. There is enough to establish. The day is not far when the Election Commission of India will find reason to ban them.
Syed Asad Abbas, final words.
Thank you, Rahul. Firstly, let me come straight. It's very interesting how conveniently the BJP spokesperson uses the ban or not. The fact of the matter, let me address these leaders of BJP Karnataka. C.T. Ravi, Nalin Kumar Katil, Ishwarappa have all called SDPI workers as brutal murderers, terrorists, Musalman gundas. So you don't do anything about the gundas. You allow gundas to contest. But nevertheless, see how convenient it is, Rahul. When it comes to contesting elections, they will keep them alive in more than 100 seats to break the Congress vote bank, to eat into the percentage where the margin on 50 seats in 2018 elections was just 5,000 votes.
Okay.
So therefore, it helps them beneficially. So therefore, they need to act upon the ground, not just do
so many
this.
seats,
Okay,
please.
you've heard different points of view. This is an important story because what was earlier said as an insinuation is now proven through videographic evidence. The linkages between members of the banned PFI and the SDPI, very conveniently those banned PFI members now joining what claims to be a legitimate political organization. There will be multiple reactions to this India Today investigation and we'll track those very carefully. For the time being, Abdul Majid, Malvika Vinash, Syed Aslam, Gopal Husur and Syed Asad Abbas for joining me on the NewsTrack. Thank you very much. An important story put out by the India Today Special Investigation Team. I'll have more for you on the other side. Stay with us.
Akansha, you've been tracking this layoff story ever since last year. What is the latest that you hear, and is there an end in sight to this?
Well, globally, the situation is still very grim, with major companies further downsizing their workforce and others contemplating the same. On Wednesday, Amazon went through a fresh round of layoffs that impacted over 100 people. And it is also being reported that Apple, that had not cut jobs so far, is also contemplating layoffs, which would impact thousands of people, even in India. Experts also believe that with the further advancement of AI tools, jobs across sector will be in danger if a regulatory policy is not put in place. Back to you.
Now, Akansha, what about in India? What do the trends now indicate?
Well, as per the data available on layoffs.fyi, around 20,000 people have lost their jobs in India. This number is way higher than the number of people who lost their jobs during the pandemic-related layoffs. Focusing on the sectors, the tech, IT, and startup sectors have been impacted the worst. In tech, a significant chunk of employees of big tech companies who were operating out of India, these companies like Google, Amazon, Meta, these people were also laid off. And in the Indian startup space, edtech startups like Byju's, Vedantu, Unacademy have been hit the worst. This is primarily because these companies were not profitable and depended on VC money. And once that drained out, because of the funding winter, they had no option but to make job cuts to reduce costs.
As State of War Karnataka begins, a reminder why India today is the true number one. The 5 big faces speak to us before all others. From Chief Minister Bommai,
our intent is to weed out corruption,
to Chief Challenger Siddaramaiah,
Yes, 100% I'm an aspirant.
from old warhorse Yediyurappa,
And I have got 100% confidence that we are going to come back to power in Karnataka.
to muscle man DK Shivakumar.
My number Karnataka on 13th, 141 will be the number.
And Kingmaker Kumaraswamy.
Offer is there. Okay. Everybody offering me.
When it's Karnataka, there's no competition. India's #1 election channel.
Not only is she a beauty with brains, but hers is a name to reckon with when it comes to bold choices and decisions. Priyanka Chopra won Miss World title in the year 2000, and it's no secret that thereon she established herself as a global icon on her own merit. Once an outsider is now living a life she always dreamt of. But her struggles to reach where she is today is something that's not often talked about. From her career goals to equal pay, in a podcast with Dax Shepard, Priyanka spoke about everything under the sun, and most importantly, she made 5 biggest revelations in a no-holds-barred interview with the American actor-filmmaker. Quitting Bollywood. She said, and we quote, "I was being pushed into a corner in the industry. I had people not casting me. I had beef with people, and I'm not good at playing that game. So I kind of was tired of the politics, and I said I needed a break." Decision to freeze eggs in 30s. She said, and we quote, "I felt such a freedom. I did it in my early 30s. I could continue on an ambitious war path that I wanted to achieve. I wanted to get to a certain place in my career. I also hadn't met the person I wanted to have children with, or I didn't see that. That's anxiety inducing. I was 35 and my mom's an OB-GYN who's like 36, just do it. It's the best gift you'll give yourself because you're taking the power from your biological clock and you can work until however long you want. Your eggs will still be the same age as when you froze them." Changing accent as immigrant. She said, and we quote, "I tried a new accent every week to try to fit in. I felt the need to dramatically change my accent when I was in school because if I said something, the next sentence would be, huh? Excuse me? Sorry? What?" It gets so annoying after a point. People debate this a lot about immigrants who come in and their accents change. It's basically making it convenient for another person.
Consumption has gone through a few bumpy patches over the last couple of years. So keeping all this in mind, which would you say is the stronger engine of growth at Godrej and Boyce? I mean, the B2B businesses, the industry-facing businesses that you spoke about, or the B2C, the consumer-facing businesses?
Allu Arjun, who made a mark among the Hindi audiences with his impressive performance in Pushpa. And Prabhas, who broke into the big league with Bahubali in 2015 and retained the stature with its sequel in 2017. After India Today magazine released issue on July 15th featuring Pushpa star Allu Arjun, the cover titled South Swag, Prabhas fans dug up a 2017 India Today magazine cover titled Epic Blockbuster featuring the superstar. took snap of the same and while drawing comparison, called it more organic. Alu fans who were raving about the viral July issue cover were met with rebuttal from fans of superstar and Bahubali actor Prabhas. Meanwhile, his team claimed that Prabhas's PR team is deliberately reviving the older magazine issue as Alu's cover gains traction. For the unversed, both Prabhas and Allu Arjun created a respectable space for themselves in Indian cinema through their work.
Middle class.
Before Pushpa The Rise, Allu Arjun delivered a commercial hit, Ala Vaikuntapuram Allu. He's also gearing up for the sequel, Pushpa The Rule.
The great Vikramaditya.
Prabhas, on the other hand, was last seen in Radhe Shyam, which turned out to be a box office dud, and is all set to star in Salar, Adi Purush and Project K. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
So sorry.
सारा शहर मुझे लायन के नाम से जानता है। Let's have some music, boys. माइकल, आज से तुम करो H3N2 रिसाइकल।
Yes, boss.
लिली, अब नहीं सिली, तुम H1N1 मेरी बिल्ली।
Thank you, boss.
रॉबर्ट, ये 3 छोटे-छोटे वायरस कौन हैं?
बॉस, ये मेरे 3 बच्चे हैं। आपको इनके भी नाम रखने हैं।
एक का नाम रख दो पीटर, दूसरे का रिपीटर और तीसरे का जियांग मिंग रख दो।
पीटर रिपीटर समझ आया बॉस। जियांग मिंग क्यों?
क्योंकि इस दुनिया में पैदा हर तीसरा वायरस चाइनीज होता है। माइकल, गाड़ी लेकर आओ।
अरे बाप रे!
स्पीड बढ़ाओ।
बॉस, ये स्मार्ट बॉय तो फिर से पीछे पड़ गया। क्या करे?
राइट का इंडिकेटर देकर गाड़ी लेफ्ट मोड़ लो। स्मार्ट बॉय कंफ्यूज हो जाए। स्मार्ट बॉय, देखो हम फिर तुम्हारे शहर आ गए इन्फेक्शन फैलाने।
ये इन्फेक्शन किसी बोतल में रखा रायता नहीं है कि ठर से खोला और फर से फैला दिया। अभी तक मेरी जुबान बोल रही थी, अब मेरी वैक्सीन बोलेगी। समझे चपड़गंजो?
Good evening, viewers. Let's take a look at the weather report across the major cities this evening. Thiruvananthapuram is at 32 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 68. Mumbai is at 32 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 117. Panaji is at 31 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 89. Ahmedabad is at 36 degrees Celsius